Ed, I was looking online today and I found an amazing video from the last time you were in the final. And the whole match is there, and all the interviews after it, and all the players are interviewed. Sean McCaig, who was either president or just becoming president of the GAA, they were all on it. Are you aware of that video?
Yeah, well, I'd say what we do is we've had a very, very great history with the St Paul's tournament. Unfortunately, it's been 13 years since we last won the Cavan Minor Championship, but we're delighted. There's a great history of all of those games, including the final we won in 1999. So there is videos of all. We've competed in 4 finals in total, and all of those games are well documented, and they're certainly lovely to have.
Because we're streaming it now, and that was almost like a streaming back then. It wasn't live, but the coverage was fantastic.
Yeah. To be honest now, I haven't watched the video. I haven't watched that video in recent times, but I have watched it, and yeah, it was certainly well done at the time.
And you were there? Were you on that day?
I was there. Yeah, I spent many years both playing and then supporting the other team. So I've been up nearly every year that we were in the tournament. I was there watching those games. Yeah.
And what do you remember about that day?
So we thought this final was the 2006 final, was it?
No, 1999. The only time you won it.
Oh, sorry, the time we won the final. Yeah, it's so funny. At that time, I was only I was 14 at the time, and just the whole atmosphere, the occasion. At the time, I was obviously looking up to the guys that were playing on the minor team. Richie Graham was the captain of the team, a good pal of Richie's to this day. He scored a wonderful soccer goal, which actually won the final. And
we better remind him and you, he'll remind you he could player of the match.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Richie was a fantastic minor footballer for the club.
And number 14 for Cavan, scoring 1-5 in the second half, changed the course of the game and actually won the game for Cavan. So congratulations. The man of the match award goes to number 14, Richard Graham.
And at that time, really, that core of that team went on to backbone the senior team, which had, give us great success. And really, it was out of that final. And then the following year, heartbreakingly, Pearse Oak bet us by a point in the final. And a lot of that team was actually in their first year in 1999. So the guys came back, and we were very narrowly beaten the following year as well.
And your midfield was your captain Dominic Riley and Nicholas Walsh. He went on to play for Cavan, who's now in Australia. Yeah. So what do you remember about them that day and being around them? I mean, were you on the pitch or were you in the crowd?
I was in the crowd and then on the pitch after, and I was unfortunate enough to try and compete for midfield with those guys for the rest of my playing there. So I've lots of marks from Nicholas and Dominic, and Enda King was also out there, a very fine footballer. He played around the middle as well. At times he played around the middle in that game. So the guys were very, very, very strong. Nicholas had just come off playing international rules and played some wonderful football up here.
It's all over, and the Gaels are the Greengate Ulster Minor Club football champions of 1999. The date, the 2nd of January, the year 2000. A competition that started in the last century has been won in this one by Cavan Gaels.
And do you remember as a 14-year-old that it was the first day of the new millennium? It would have been the 1st of January 2000.
Yeah. I can't say. I remember. That's obviously that was the time. I don't know at the time that I was. I can't remember actually, to be perfectly honest with you. But there were certainly jubilant scenes when we got back to Cavan after that, and interesting that it was the first day of the new millennium. Yeah, that's very interesting.
We have to wait for our Millennium night yet. We all were at home early on New Year's Eve, and we're going to have our party night tonight, and we'll start then again tomorrow in New Year.
Well, I am surely delighted, and it's a great day for Cavan football. They were a credit to Cavan, they were a credit to their club and to their parents and everyone belonging to them. And it's rarely we have an occasion like this to celebrate, and we're delighted to be here.
And what do you remember about the occasion and about the venue and about the way it was run?
Yeah, well, as I said, I think if you ask any member of Cavan Gaels, when we hear the word St Paul's, everyone kind of lights up, because it's a special place. There's a special atmosphere. We used to flock. We get a number of buses up to when players and supporters, and it's just the atmosphere is kind of like no other. I think in St Paul's, there's been a who's who of kind of Ulster GAA footballers through the tournament over the years, and it's just a wonderful place.
And what does it mean now for you to come back all these years later in charge of a team to this tournament?
Listen, I feel very privileged and proud, and it's lovely to be able to give something back to the club, and be involved with what are a great group of young men. And we're just really looking forward to getting back up to St Paul's. I was coming up in the car with the lads today, and I was trying to explain what they're coming into and the atmosphere, and I would describe it, and I was fortunate enough to play in a good few grounds around Ulster. I think it's a unique place to play football, and it's something that they're very lucky that they're going to experience. I'd love if I could do it again myself.